Hello, these are my pictures. They're not great, I'm going to be honest with you. These first attempts back in the film photography game, trying to see what I can learn from them and see what works, what doesn't work. So for starters here, this one I don't care for. But the story is this is a phone pole near my house. When I'm out walking, I take pictures of it sometimes. The beautiful sky and the clouds. I like the sky and clouds. And so I took it works on my phone. It does not work here on black and white with let's see, what was I using? This is, put in the title, this is Ilford FP4. I don't know why I picked that one. Maybe it just looked cool. Canister, they got that kind of blue and yellow look, kind of retro look to it right now. It looks cool. Saw it, bought it off of Amazon. Thought, getting back into film, let's do black and white. Should be simpler, but here it is. Anyway, speaking of the sky, here's another one. Also don't love it. Just kind of gray, big gray mess. Clouds, there you go. All right, flowers, turns out I don't like this one either. These are in the front yard, springtime, the crocuses were blooming. I thought, oh, that's pretty, let's take a picture. Just, it's just too busy in the flowers. I don't know, I feel like maybe the contrast is approaching what I kind of like. I like higher contrast stuff. I like dark darks and light lights. Well, we're just trying things out. And so walking around, I thought, well, this is cool. The snow's melting off this car. Took this one. I kind of like it. At the time, I didn't love. It seemed a little gray to me. So here's what I did to it. And looking back at it, I'm like, oh no, I did too much. Too much correcting. That's too bright on the hood, So I cropped it in a little bit too, maybe more than, I think I kind of like the original better at this point. Maybe I'll tweak it a little bit. Maybe I will. Probably not. I'm probably not going to go back to this. Also, this cool truck. It's, the time of day and everything, I think it's a little gray, a little muddy for me. This is what I did to it to lighten it up. It's a little better. I like this a little better than the last one. But still, just only so-so. I haven't been back to this spot. I need to go back there a different time of day with some color. Problem is, I do my walks usually kind of midday. I guess on the earlier side, with actual noon being like 1:30, but it's kind of later in the morning when I walk around. So not the best light, not the worst. All right, now here's something interesting. This is a 28 millimeter lens I've got for my Canon AE1 program. I got this camera in high school. I worked for it. I had a neighbor who was a photographer, amateur. He enjoyed it. He had some stuff, including this old Canon he didn't really use anymore. And so I built him a retaining wall in his backyard in exchange for this camera and 2 lenses and like a motor, an auto advance, motor, and a flash. I think that was everything that came with it. And a bag for it. Actually, I might have bought the bag. So I was like, okay, I got this wider angle lens. Let's try that out. But man, look at this thing. I don't know if I ever used it when I was younger. Look how fuzzy that is on this. It's blurry around the edges. Contrast sucks. Just so the next several are going to be with this lens that I just don't care for. This cool old shack in the neighborhood, we moved in, there was like an emu living, I don't know, in it maybe? We were using it as an emu coop. Certainly on the property. Haven't seen it in many years, so that's sad. It'd be cool if they still had an emu I could take pictures of. But like I said, just, this is bright. Like the snow on that roof should be pretty bright, pretty white, because clouds were in and out, but it was a pretty bright day. I think, here we go. So you can see, took this one and trying to brighten it up, and that's closer to what was going on that day. But man, just this lens, frustrating. But you kind of, at least for this spot, you kind of need a wider angle for the shot I was trying to get. Composition wise, it's okay. I don't know. I'd like to go back, do a straight on shot. I've been doing more of those lately. You'll see this in later episodes. I've been doing like the straight on centered, Wes Anderson kind of thing going on. So I want to go back and take another shot of this in the evening when the sun's in the right spot, coming in straight on at the door and in color, and see what I can do. That's another one, just kind of, I guess, that's kind of more of what I'm talking about. I've been doing a lot of these kinds of things just straight onto this house, but this lens gives me nothing. This gray garbage. Just lens and also subject, time of day, nothing works here. Composition's okay, I guess, but that truck, it's kind of a red, a darker red, and I think I tried to shoot it later, different angle, also black and white. It's just that value, that color translates to a value that doesn't turn out well with my abilities so far. Maybe one day I'll go back to it. I don't know if I've done it in color yet. This house, it's okay. But once again, this lens just giving me grief. I don't know what I was going for here. I don't like really anything about it. Probably would have liked it if it turned out better, But if it were better to start with, I probably would have played with the levels, played with the cropping. But as is, I just it's not worth messing with, and so I haven't. This house, once again, you can tell from the highlights on this that it was like a bright sunny day, just coming out really muddy. I tried to punch it up a little bit, and this is kind of what I had in mind for it. So maybe I'll go back there with my new camera, the different lens, and then trying to check this. So one thing, this brings up a good point. You can see that the field of focus here is really shallow, depth of field. I always, with my digital camera, I do a lot of taking pictures of my kids, right? And so, watch videos, online course kind of stuff about this kind of outdoor portrait photography, and some of that's missing from these because I told you already I'm not really doing that, sharing those pictures. But that low, the wide open aperture, get that shallow depth of field, that cool blur in the background looks really great on portraits. And so I think for at least a few of these rolls going in, right off the bat, I'm doing kind of as wide as open as I can, just out of habit, and just out of there's something on my back of my head that says wide open good. And so that's what I'm doing. But I mean, look at this. That's useless. It'd be cool detail if it were all in focus, but it's a tree. There you go. It's a tree that is not flat. Is this the next roll? I don't know. Might be. I shot two back to back. This is with the the good lens, I think. This is with the 50 and cool old house. Not quite what I wanted. I brightened it up. I think that I overdid it on this one though. But, you know, that's what I was going for when I was trying to shoot it. Cool house. I like these old pioneer houses. This may be like the best I'm going to get because they just redid the roof. You can see the roof's looking kind of old. The flashing there's falling off. Like, looks cool. Probably not great to live in when your roof's falling apart. But I don't know that they put those cedar shakes back on there. They might have gone asphalt. It's a shame. Yeah, kind of same story here. Next one, just a house straight on. Got the mountain in the background. Pretty sunny day, but boom. That's more what I was going for, but still, you know, probably a little washed out. Whatever word they use for that. I'm still learning that, but yeah. Okay, so this actually, that was the end of that one. Roll number 1. This is roll number 2. This had a lot more. Went down to the river in Provo and I took a bunch of pictures of the kids. Some of them turned out really well. We even like blew one up and have it hanging on the wall right now because it's really cute with the kids underneath a cherry tree and in blossom. But here's, you can see right here the limitation of my AE program, right? Shooting, you know, it's kind of shady, but you can see I'm shooting right into the sun, right? It's coming through those trees, and so the meter just kind of adjusted in a way that I wish it wouldn't, but I didn't have anything other than just the meter and the camera, and I was just going kind of automatic based on that. I think with mine it doesn't have an aperture priority. I think it just has a speed priority, right? So I think I was just kind of using that. No, wait, it does. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Either way, I'm not like metering this out with an app on my phone or with a proper meter. Like, I'm just kind of pointing and shooting with a lot of stuff. So this is what happens when you do that. Kind of a scene by the river. Although, to be frank, I don't love this composition anyway, so I'm not too bent out of shape that it sucked. You know, decrepit old house. That's prime bait for film photography. Probably really any photography. It's just cool seeing these kinds of crumbling buildings. They're just interesting. They capture the imagination. So, you know, we took the kids to the park, and this is like right next to the park, through the fence, shot through the fence. Another, you know, I'm a photographer of opportunity mostly, and so if I go somewhere, I have my camera with me, take some pictures, even if it's not like the ideal time of day. Like, this would be better, I think, with the sun coming in on the front on this door here, which at this spot would be like either very early in the morning or late in the evening. I think we were just there recently, and I think I might have gotten some with better light. But this one, okay, don't love the composition anyway. That one's cooler, and focusing more on that side that's in the light. Actually, I kind of like this one. This might be a winner. It's a keeper. Might crop up the bottom a little bit. I don't know if I like it completely. Take a little bit off the bottom. Change the ratio a little bit. Head on, it's okay. You can kind of see into the house. That's what I was going for, but without adjusting, you know, without being able to meter in a meaningful way. Can't really meter for those shadows. So that's just kind of what best you can do. And then this one, different park, different day. Kind of cool. Got the flag out there. Good, not great. All right, and then we got the truck again. This turned out a little better. Still just kind of, don't know, it still feels kind of gray to me. I think looks like it might have been an overcast day. Just not popping for me. Not really doing it. But that's the end, because that one had a bunch of my kids on it. So that's rolls 1 and 2. I think, my big takeaway from that one was that one of my lenses is terrible and I should never use it again. And I think I might use it again to test it out again in a future roll coming up here in a color one. And you can see, we'll be able to see that. And then just, now in hindsight, looking back, a few rolls past this now, just need to work on the metering aspect, which I am doing. Metering for the shadows, and I'm doing my own. Man, I'm doing my own developing now. Isn't that crazy? But yeah, I should have talked about that. These I just dropped off at my local camera store. They're not anything crazy special as far as the specialty shops you get these days with specialty developing operations where you mail them in. This was just local, a place called Allen's Camera. I'm clearly not sponsored by them. And I thought they did an okay job, a serviceable job, just developing and scanning these. I didn't pay for any special scanning, any special cleanup, and the negatives turned out okay. Price was decent. Turnaround time, black and white, was pretty good. I don't go there a ton now, especially now that I'm trying to do more of this at home. I don't do black and white yet. Just been doing color. But yeah, these are my photos. So tell me what you think. Do you agree that they're awful? I think there was like 1 or 2 that were serviceable, and then there were a few portraits that I thought were pretty good. That right now, maybe once the kids are 18, maybe then I'll show them. But yeah, getting back into it, learning a bit, getting familiar with the camera, carrying it around more. So stay tuned. We'll have more next time. I think we're diving into some color. I've got some Kodak Gold on the horizon, and we'll take it from there. So thanks. Check me out on Substack at Aldo Johnson on Substack. And if you want to give me money, I would take it. I would. But come on. We'll see you next time.